Hey guys, um, specifically my Saints fans, but to all who listens to my ramblings, I just want to say that I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I'm sorry I haven't gotten the recaps out earlier. I just want to say I'm sorry, but this Rams loss kind of took a lot out of me. The main point of this video is going to be solely directed towards my Saints fans. My fellow Saints fans who watch and subscribe. Yeah, but this is just a message to all of them. Yeah, um, my fellow Saints fans, we have a right to be upset. Um, we have a right to be upset. That was clear pass interference and helmet to helmet and personal foul. Like, the league office said there was 3 fouls on that play or 3 penalties that could have been called. That was just a terrible missed call by the refs. I mean, the refereeing this season has been questionable to say the least, but that was I mean, that was blatant, man. I mean, when you don't see something blatant as that as a ref, it makes me question, why the heck are you even on the field? Why do you even have a job? How did you even get a job in the NFL when you can't spot something so blatant like that? Like, I don't think that he was trying to dirty hit him or cheap shot Tommy Lee Lewis, but either way, that should have been a flag. That was blatant. That was too obvious not to be a flag. And it was infuriating to me like a couple days ago, but now it's just funny. I mean, the NFL rants and raves about player safety, yet those type of calls go uncalled. I mean, they said themselves, like, it could have been a couple of penalties they could have threw on that. It could have been it was pass interference, helmet to helmet, and personal foul. Either one of those would have gave us an automatic first down. But yeah, man, it just went unnoticed. I mean, how do you miss that? The dude was so close. Like, that wasn't something where it was a bunch of players crowding the area. No, that it was just those two, and for whatever reason, the ref just didn't see it. Being a Saints fan, it just hurts a lot more. But even being objective about the whole situation, that has to be one of the worst no calls in the entire postseason history of the NFL. I mean, that was just terrible. But there's another thing we should be mad at, guys, and that's ourselves. That's Sean Payton. That's the Saints as a whole. Because that second half, we didn't perform. We didn't perform to the best of our ability. Even earlier in the game, it was Goff threw an interception, and we had the ball in our red zone, and the tight end caught a pass from Breeze, but he couldn't hang on, and it didn't count as a touchdown, so we had to kick a field goal. That pass was as accurate as ever. You have to come down with that ball. There's no way you don't come down with that ball. It is playoff time, and especially against this Rams offense. Like, the Rams offense wasn't as explosive as many people would thought they'd be in this game, but the Rams offense is still dangerous, and we missed the ball on that, man. We missed the ball on a lot of things. I mean, our O-line was tripping later in the game. In overtime, Breeze threw an interception, but he was hit while he threw it. And if Breeze throws that ball, he at least gives Michael Thomas a chance because that was headed in his direction. But the O-line they did a pretty decent job in the first half, but that second half, man, it wasn't like sacks galore. Like, the O-line wasn't playing complete trash, but there were a lot of passes that Breeze had to just throw away and get off. I mean, the refs blew that, man, just to say the least, but we had a 13-point lead, and we should have tried our best to maintain that, but we didn't. And that's the truth of the matter. I mean, we should have never been in that situation. We should have been keep on scoring. Even if it wasn't touchdowns all the time, we should have done something, man. I mean, we had a 13-point lead. I know it's not the biggest in the NFL. I know it's not a 25-point lead, but yeah, I mean that's still a pretty decent lead. And even then, the Rams got some missed calls too. Like there were two separate incidents where Jared Goff got held for a face mask. One later in the game where if the refs call that, that's an automatic first and goal, and they most likely get in the end zone. If they lost to us, they would have had a play to point to also. So it wasn't just us getting the bad calls. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat that terrible no call, but let's be honest, we had multiple opportunities, even in overtime. I mean, not even talking about overtime. Like I said, we had a 13-point lead and we didn't hold on to it. And we couldn't maintain it. We couldn't maintain it, and we can't blame the refs for that. The NFL players who made it to the postseason should know that don't put it in the refs' hands, because the refs have been tripping this year. In the Kansas City and Patriots game, Tom Brady got a really bad roughing the passer call. The dude literally hit his shoulder. But Patrick Mahomes, a lot earlier in the game, and maybe even later, I have to go back and check, got hit a lot harder than Brady, but for whatever reason, the ref thought that was... I don't even know. Like, Brady didn't even go down after that. I just don't even know, man. But, yeah, the refs have been tripping, and you can't leave it in their hands, man. You can't leave it in their hands. And the sucky thing about this whole situation is that I like the Rams. Like, I'm picking them in the Super Bowl. I want them to win the Super Bowl. And if they had won against us, I would have been... Well, they did win against us, but I would have been glad for them. And I am glad for them. They've just been through so much, and it's great to see them... It's great to see Goff prove himself, to see Gurley... have the potential to get his ring, man. It's just great because he's one of the best running backs in the league, period. The fact that he's off to a Super Bowl and could potentially win is really nice. It's really good to me. It's really good to me. But to see them benefit from such a terrible call just puts a nasty taste in my mouth. I don't want to make it seem like that they won just because of that no call, and that's another thing too. I've seen quite a few Saints fans like talk about how the Rams are rigging games, or the Rams rigged that game, or on how in favor the refs were on the Rams side, when that wasn't exactly even the case. Like, they benefited from a terrible no call, but like I said, there were two instances where our defense had a face mask and it just went uncalled. There were two times, and I think it's either really ignorant or dishonest to just mull over that. And I mean, we even got the ball in overtime. We got the ball in overtime first, but we didn't do anything, man. Our O-line couldn't hold their D-line, and they hit Breeze, and the ball went floating up in the air, and they intercepted it. And even to the field goal, the field goal wasn't easy. He had to kick a 57-yarder. Like, 57 yards, you have to give the Rams their props. They did their thing, and even though they benefited from a bullcrap no call, they still had a long ways to go. Like, they were still down. They were down by 3. We had to kick a field goal, and Goff still had to drive all the way down the field. And he did it, man. He showed why he's the quarterback. And he had a terrible first half, but he really showed some composure in the second half. And The Rams team deserves their respect. Even despite this terrible no call that they benefited from, they deserve their respect. They had a long ways to go to actually win the game. And that just pisses me off when I see my own Saints fans like not even giving the Rams their credit. Like, my point is that give the Rams their credit. Don't act like that they didn't work hard for that win, because they did. They were down 13 in New Orleans. And there was a point earlier in the game where they could barely even hear each other. The quarterback could barely call out audibles because the crowd was so loud. But they got it together and they showed some real fight. They showed why they deserve to be in the Super Bowl. They did their thing and we didn't. It just comes down to that. As a team, as an organization, and even as fans, our team won't progress. We won't go anywhere if we just blame the refs. And that's what I've seen a lot of these Saints fans doing. I have to say I was kind of like that, and when I was watching the highlights and I was in the comments section, like, if you went on my account, my YouTube account, you'd probably see that I liked some of those comments, but that's just bullcrap, man. And those comments are bullcrap. We had the ball first in overtime. Like, again, terrible no call. Terrible no call, but we had a chance. We had another chance, and we blew it. Our team can't progress anywhere if we just blame the refs. And Michael Thomas posted something on Twitter or whatever where he kind of flipped the Super Bowl 53 or Super Bowl 53 thing, and basically put it in like some sort of weird thing like lie. I'll show it on the video, but yeah, it's better to see than just to explain. And I mean, as a player, that just has to be the worst. And I have to say that has to be the worst. But again, the Rams did their thing, and we didn't. And it's not as simple as we just completely blew the lead. But it's not too far away from being that simple. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, the refs are going to make mistakes. Whether it's a good year for the refs or a bad year, they're going to make mistakes. Sometimes they're going to be key mistakes. But if you're up 13, you can't leave yourself open for that. You have to keep building on that, and we have to focus on what we can control. To the Rams fans, congratulations to reaching a Super Bowl. It's your first Super Bowl since 2001. Good job, guys. You guys benefited from a terrible no call, but like I said, you guys put in a lot of effort and you guys put in a lot of work, and that D-line is something special. And I just wish the best of luck to you guys. And on an ending note, to my fellow Saints fans, another painful loss in the playoffs. We should have won, but that didn't happen. Whether you want to blame solely the refs, which is ludicrous, or you want to blame solely the Saints, man, I could get you a bit more on that, but it was honestly a mix of both. We left ourselves open for some bad officiating, and we just got screwed over. We just got robbed on that pass interference play. But yeah, we got closer, man. We got closer, and but I'm done talking, guys. For anyone who saw this, thanks for sticking with me. I'll get the recaps out as soon as possible. I'll just do them all in one video. It should be pretty short, and I'll get to the Super Bowl really soon. But yeah, I just needed to take like a week off from posting anything, from recording anything, from even taking notes. Like, I just took these notes today, and it's just been brutal. But I feel a lot better about our loss now. I feel a lot better that the Rams are the team, even though they benefited from the terrible no call, that they're the team that are going up against the Patriots. Because, like I said, they still had to put in a lot of effort and to win the game. But yeah, yeah, it's been a good year, guys. It's been a good year. Hold your heads up. Hold your heads up, Who Dat Nation. But until next time, guys, Brown Bag signing out.